tonight. So I got YouTube and Facebook joining in right now. What's going on, YouTube? What up, Facebook? Welcome back for another episode of Evening Mindset Espresso. I'm your host, Marlon Johnson. I'm super happy about this. I'm excited. We're streaming on Instagram right now. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube, all three at the same time. For anyone watching on Facebook and YouTube, I got to let you know on Instagram, I am playing around with a really fun filter where I'm watching my head bobble around like this. So I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this call today. So first off, a little bit of housekeeping. This episode today, I'm going to do my best to keep it a little bit shorter for two reasons. One, I want to deliver and jam pack as much value as I can. So I'm using a time frame. I'm using a clock so that I can deliver more value without necessarily speaking around the world. And at the same time, I got some work to do this evening. So let's jump right into it. If you're getting a little bit of wooziness from watching the camera tilt, my bad. What up, Randy? What up, Joseph? What up, Mr. Under Construction? What up, Kayla? What up, Shisha? So check this out. What I want to talk about today is I got a topic, and it's this topic of energy audits, right? I'm going to pin it right here for the people inside the chat. I want you to think about this concept of taking an energy audit. This is going to be critical to your ability to perform at a high level, right? Because at some point, we want to get you to the place of, what up, Andrea? We want to get you to the place of not just performing at a okay level, at an average level, at a mediocre level, but actually taking it to the next level. So right now, I'm really talking to the people that have already taken that leap of faith. You've already started. Did I spell audit wrong? I thought I spelled it wrong. All right, cool. My spelling is atrocious sometimes. So right now, I'm really speaking to the people that ultimately have already taken that leap of faith. You've already started your journey, whether it be entrepreneurial or just growth in general. Maybe you're still working inside of a W-2, but you've decided that you're going to build, you're going to scale. You've decided that you are the one in your family, the one that ultimately is breaking the chain. You're breaking whatever generational curses you may believe exist. You're breaking whatever patterns that have been repeated over and over. You're the person in your family, in your community, that has ultimately decided enough is enough and it's time for things to change. So you're already at that point. You've already begun moving forward. And at some part of this journey, you will run into essentially a roadblock. At some point in this journey, you're going to get beat up. You're going to get spent. You're going to get spent. Like, you're just going to be kaput. You're going to be out for a moment. And that's a natural part of the journey. I want to remind you that that is so freaking normal. Like, if you're having that day today and you're feeling like, oh my God, everybody else is crushing it. I went on Instagram today. Andrea and Joseph just locked up a bajillion more deals in their podcast studios. Absolutely fire. Christian's got his best friends coming over and they're going to go fly around the world, right? Everyone's traveling. Everyone's going to meetups. Everyone's killing it. And I'm just not there yet, right? Like, Sam is crushing it and I'm just not there yet. And you're getting on social media and you're seeing this. I want you to understand that's a normal part of the journey, right? And here's what we're going to do. We're going to recognize it and we're going to continue to move forward. So when we start looking at what we want to be able to recognize is, I want to have an energy audit and figure out, okay, when I call it being in the basement. When I'm in my basement, which means my energy is low. When I'm in my basement and I am just at that place where, this is where I'm cranky. This is where I'm not coming up with solutions. This is where I'm complaining. This is where you don't want to hang around me. I'm hangry, but I already ate, and eating doesn't cure it. I need to figure out what is going on with my energy. Where am I at? Also, I just got to stop to read Sam's comment. Bro, I freaking love you, man. I always love seeing you jump onto my lives, man. I want to jump on and do a live with you. Freaking love you, bro. Sam is amazing. If you guys haven't tapped in with Sam Singh, you're missing out. So recognizing when you're in your basement, you've got to be able to do these energy audits. And essentially an energy audit is you've got to figure out what is getting you to be in your basement. Because ultimately, it's typically situations that we're reacting to, right? As much as we are creators and curators of our environment and curators of our life and our story, we are also responding to the situations around us. It's a natural part of being a human. It's actually really cool because it's a part of the human experience. It's what makes things pleasurable as well. So recognize and take this energy audit and see What's affecting you in your day to day? Because a few things are going to affect you in your day to day, and you have to have a level of awareness with this. So the first thing is you're going to need to be able to check in just with yourself. Like, how are your own thoughts affecting you? See, there's a conversation going on in your mind 24/7, 365. Right? I'm speaking to you right now. So luckily, I'm able to interrupt that conversation for a brief moment in time. You're giving me your attention. So, first off, thank you so much for giving me your attention. But you're giving me your attention right now. I'm only going to be on here for another 25 minutes. Once I jump off, heck, even while I'm on here, at some point, the inner conversation may interrupt my voice and start speaking to you again. What is that inner conversation like? What is it saying to you? In fact, I want you to do this, right? Actually, I want you to, for a little bit today, find some time where you're actually speaking out loud to yourself. Speak out loud the thoughts that are in your head, right? Actually catch yourself speaking out loud, because what's going to happen is you're going to have some thoughts that come up where you're like, I'm not going to say that, but you were thinking it. See, you're thinking a lot of thoughts. What I want to know is, what is that conversation that's happening internally? Are you telling yourself you're a winner? Are you telling yourself, look how far I've come? Or are you constantly reminding yourself of, look how far I have to go? Look at how much Sam is doing more than me. Look at how much Lexi is doing more than me. Look at how much more Joseph has done than me. Wow, everybody's so far ahead. When we start to get into our basement, these are the sort of conversations that start to kick on. I know, because I personally have experienced these conversations. I experience these conversations still to this day. There are still moments in time where that's the conversation that happens. The thing is, I've gotten a lot better about recognizing it and stopping the conversation, saying, whoa, wait a second. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to think that. I don't want that affecting me, because it's draining my energy much, much faster. And my energy and my attention are very important to me nowadays. So I'm watching, like Andrea said, like that internal dialogue, right? So I actually take that internal dialogue and I actually put it out loud. So I'll begin speaking, right? So I want you all to try this. Try speaking what you're thinking. And you're going to notice, again, I sound really silly. I'm calling myself a loser. I'm calling myself names. This is silly. So actively, when it comes out, I want you to actively change it. Because here's the beautiful thing. You can't do two things at once. I know a lot of people believe they can multitask. And I even, like, when my friends tell me they can multitask, just because I don't like to argue with people, I'll agree with them. You cannot multitask. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you're speaking out loud, you can't speak out loud and think about something else different. When you communicate, like as I'm communicating to you, you know what my thoughts are right now, because I'm verbalizing them right now. I'm actually speaking my thoughts aloud right now. So do that for yourself. Start to speak and say, I am so healthy. I am so wealthy. I am intelligent. I am a problem solver. Speak the truth. Think about where you came from. Your memories are great for showing you how far you've come. 2 years ago, I knew nothing about real estate investing. 2 years ago, I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. 2 years ago, I didn't have the same level of confidence that I have today to go and speak my opinions out loud in front of a group of people. 2 years ago, I was still trying to figure out if I should pursue my passion, pursue my dream. See, show yourself how far you've come, and you're speaking the truth. The cool thing about this is, as you start to speak that truth, you're going to start to be reminded, right? This new self-talk will actually begin to change your physiology. It will actually begin to change your DNA on the spot. It will actually get your blood rate up. It will actually start to pump hormones into you that will start to relieve stress, and you will start to get yourself back into a better place. The challenge is sitting in a mopey moment of being in your basement. As much as you don't like being in your basement, the truth is you're comfortable in your basement. The truth is, when you get down and you get low, it's a lot comfortable. It's a lot more comfortable to just lay there and stay there. It takes effort to get yourself out of a slump. It takes effort to get yourself out of a downward spiral. Like, trust, guys, like, I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm speaking from, and like, it's not like long ago personal experience. I'm speaking from, what was it? Today's Wednesday. I think Monday I had a moment. No, it was last week. Last week I had a moment where I was just like down. Like, my energy was down. It was like a dark cloud was following me. And I had to stop and I had to take an energy audit. And I had to figure out what was going on, because the conversation in my head started to go negative. And I was like, I do not want this. So I had to take over the conversation in my head by verbalizing it out loud. I had to actually begin speaking the conversation out loud to take it over. And even that was step one. However, I'll be honest with you guys, like that didn't fully cure it. Like on most days, that would take care of it. Most days I start speaking the conversation out loud, I start talking to myself, and it takes care of it. But that day, that particular day, it was last Thursday. Last Thursday, it was not going away. That dark cloud feeling was not going away. So I had to go and check into the second thing, which was I had to take an audit on my environment. So this is critical to understand. Your environment is a part of what shapes you. This is why we've been having the age-old philosophical debate on nurture versus nature, right? Why is it so hard for us to figure out, is it nurture or is it nature? Why can't it be both? See, the truth is, from my opinion, this is just my personal opinion, so take it for what you may, it is both nurture and nature, because I might have something innately in me. It might be in my nature. It might already be there. I might have some instincts, but my environment is not allowing that to be expressed. It's not providing an outlet for it. So sometimes the environment you're in may actually be draining your energy. Like sometimes it may be your physical location, like where you are physically sitting, what you have proximity to. Are you, check this out, because this is what happened to me. I'm just sharing. Like I'm like emptying my bag, so hopefully someone else doesn't have to sit in the suck for too long, right? I think everyone should go through the suck, but don't stay there. Learn it and then get out. So last week, again, when I was here, I work from home, right? I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home, to be able to earn money from my laptop and my cell phone, right? So my spare bedroom at my house this is the office. So I spend a lot of time in here. I'm on the computer in here. I do my morning mindset calls in here. I learn. I do self-education. Everything happens inside this room, inside this office. So I spend a lot of time here. And you see, last week, after I had taken over the voice in my head and no longer the voice was speaking negatively to me because I took that over, the feeling didn't go away. So I'm like, all right, what's going on? What's going on? And I had to go pick up a buddy from the airport. I had to go pick up my friend Vincent. So I get into the car, and now I'm in the car driving away from the house. And as I come around the first block, I start to feel a little bit lighter. And as I'm getting down the road and I'm getting ready to get onto the freeway, I'm feeling just better. Just, whoa, what's happening? And I'm like, this is so strange. When I pick up Vincent, he says, how's your day going? I'm like, man, it's a weird one, bro. Like I feel really good right now, but you got to understand, maybe about 30 minutes ago before I got you, I was feeling kind of off, man. I'll be honest. And he's like, yeah, well, I guess that happens. Drop him off. And as I start heading back to the house, I'm talking, as I'm getting in proximity of the home, I'm driving towards the driveway. Boom, it hits me. I'm feeling that dark cloud. It's back. The dark cloud is floating over me. And I walk into the door, and now I'm feeling something in my chest. And I'm just at this place where, oh my gosh, like I'm laying on the couch, almost like I'm depressed. My roommate looks at me and says, doesn't even say anything. Like that's how off my energy was. And I had to take this environmental audit now. And I had to say, you know what? Let me get up and get out of this space. Sometimes we're hanging out in a place, we're literally sitting in a physical space. Maybe it's your home, maybe it's with your family, maybe it's your job, maybe it's your school, wherever it may be. We're in a physical place, and that physical location at that moment in time is actually draining us. It's okay to step away. Sometimes we're taught that you've got to tough it out, right? And I agree, tough it out to an extent, right? But this is where it's going to be important to have that self-awareness, to have that level of self-awareness, because sometimes the situation, the position you're in, if you're in a place where you are no longer producing anything productive or positive or constructive, you need to go and separate. Your job, your first job is to take care of you first and foremost. This might be a little bit like some of you might be like, I don't know. Your first job, I'm going to say it again, is to take care of you immediately, because you are what we call a cornerstone in your life, right? Like you are the foundation piece that everything else stands on, that everything else stacks upon. So I can take other things away. I could take away a couple of hours at work. I could take away some people. I could take away some activities. I could take away some money. I could take away some time. But if I take away you, everything else crumbles. Everything else ceases to be. So it's important that you recognize this and take care of yourself. So in that situation, I'm looking at the environment and I'm saying, you know what? This environment is not helping. I get into my car. I physically drive just down the road. There's no destination. It wasn't like I was going somewhere. I just drove down the road and I parked in a parking lot and I felt lighter again. And upon being in this new environment, this is what the new environment provided. It provided a fresh space for me to think again, for me to have clear thoughts, for me to be free, to be in a neutral zone. There's such an importance of being able to have a neutral space to think from. Again, this is why we do the energy audit. So with this neutral space, I began reflecting and I started to notice something. I said, Marlon, when's the last time you took a break? And when I say a break, I mean like you actually turned your brain off. What's up, Rudy? What's up, Wesley? When's the last time you actually took a break and stopped working and turned your brain off? And it hit me that, oh, shoot, I had worked through the last 2 weekends. See, I make it a point to take a day off. Like, I think it's really important. I'm all about hustling. I really am. I do believe hustle is the season. Hustle is important. I believe in hard work. I know everyone chases passive income, and I'm all about passive income. I'm all about that kind of life, but I also believe in hard work. I genuinely believe they can exist together. And oh, I gotta read this. It says that literally happened to me today. I was in a completely different world in my car than in my office. I love that because your environment matters. You have to take care of you. You have to, because then you're able to come back and produce more. The 4, 6, 7 hours of sitting there pushing through it, you could have gotten the same work accomplished had you taken an hour or two to go get yourself right and then come back. And now, although you have less hours, you're more productive. You're in a better state. Man, I hope you guys can hear me because these people that call me midday, oh man. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Whew, I hope you can. So if you're hanging out here, I hope you can still hear me because I hate when I get these midday phone calls. So give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can still hear me, or if I might have to restart this live because we still got another 15 minutes. All right, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Waiting to get a response. I gotta know if I gotta restart this. I don't know if I still have audio. Typically, when someone calls, whoo, Randy coming in hot with the thumbs up. We good. I love that. So check this out. Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate the thumbs up. All right, thank you guys. So being able to pull yourself out of the environment and actually place yourself into a new environment to get right. Right. And when I did this, I found myself in this neutral space again. I found myself in this neutral space where I was actually able to think clearly because I'll be honest, the whole day I was actually trying to understand what was causing me to feel so off. What was it? And I was asking myself and I'm going through it and I'm like, all right, well, like that deal's kind of funky, but like that shouldn't really be stressing me out. Like I'm not super stressed out about it. Like that's not a big deal. That's not that big a deal. There's nothing there. And I just realized, okay, my energy is being drained from the physical environment, the physical location, because my body was associating home with work and my body was saying, we need a break from work. I got to pull away. So getting into the car and driving to that parking lot allowed me to break. It had allowed separation from the work. And as I was sitting there, I was able to be reminded that one, I hadn't taken a break in a long time. And two, I hadn't been enjoying any of my hobbies recently. And the importance of hobbies. Man, that's going to be a conversation for another day. But please make sure you have hobbies. Matter of fact, while you're in this chat right now, drop a comment below. What is your favorite hobby? Because it is critical that you enjoy your hobbies, whether it's golfing, walking the dog, reading books for pleasure, not personal development books, but reading books for pleasure, watching a little bit of Netflix, watching some anime. Like I love anime. I don't know who else is the anime head in here, but I love watching anime. Like it lets me turn my brain off. Riding motorcycles, like that's the thing for me. What are your hobbies? So I realized, oh my gosh, I haven't been making any time at all for my hobbies. It's all been work. It's been all work, no play. That makes Jack a dull boy. So recognize this because that's going to feed back in when you're doing your hobbies. This is why it's so critical. It feeds energy back into you. It feeds life force back into you. Think about what sustains you, right? It's not necessarily the calories in the food you eat, right? It's not the water you drink. It's a life force. It's this thing that we can't quite quantify. However, you feel it. You feel the difference of how you show up to your own situation when you have that life force, when you're filled with it, when you just came off of maybe spending time with your best friends, maybe watching some anime, watching some One Piece right now. There we go. What up, Sam? Right? Playing some video games. You feel the difference on how you come back to your life. It's kind of like returning from a good vacation. You're ready to go. You're amped up. You're ready to get back to work because you just did something that fills you back up. It refuels your energy. So I take those energy audits because I don't want to do it all day. If I just got filled up, I don't need to sit down and continue watching more anime. I don't need to sit down and continue playing more video games. But when I am drained, right? Check this out. Peep this. Peep this. I say that a lot. If Google, arguably one of the largest corporations on planet freaking Earth right now, sees to it, they believe it's important that they actually add game rooms and their employees take mandatory, right? Mandatory playtime, like they have a recess. And this is Google, one of the largest corporations. They have billions and billions of dollars, as well as all the data on freaking Earth, right? So they actually study the data. They have all of the data. They know everything about you. And I see Daryl in the house. What up, Daryl? Right? Daryl's on the stream with me on YouTube, by the way, y'all. Right? So if Google sees to it that their people take breaks and they go and play, and they actually build play center for adults, for high-level executives, for people that they're paying $100, $200, $300, $400,000 per year salaries, you don't think it's important for you to take a break? You don't think that it wouldn't benefit you, right? Copy them, right? I'm not over here trying to reinvent the wheel. I am not that intelligent, right? I'm pretty dang smart, but I'm not that level smart. So I'm just going to copy what I see. Monkey see, monkey do. If I'm seeing something that's working well, I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to start to take that time to make a break. I'm going to take that time to go watch a little bit of anime, even if it's midday, right? You want different results, do things differently. The average mainstream society is not taught this. They're taught, no, you don't take a break in the middle of the day. You just don't do that. Well, I don't want to earn $40 an hour, $30 an hour, $20 an hour. I want to earn $1,000 an hour, $100,000 an hour. I want to make 7-figure months. So I'm going to do things a little bit unconventional. It's going to get weird around here, right? Don't show up to my house in the middle of the day. I might be doing some weird stuff. You might find me like Templeton walking around the backyard naked, taking ice baths, just coming out butt naked. Like, what is he doing? He's just coming out of a bucket of ice, butt naked. Why? So check this out. I want to read what Sam put there. He said, Robert Winsley talked about this, prioritizing fun breaks for employees, which allows them to add curiosity, which in turn results in higher output. Fun fact, Google Maps was a direct result of employees being allowed to explore their ideas on fun breaks. Boom, mic drop moment. Also, guys, like if you are not following Sam yet, I am telling you, you are missing out. Like you are, if you're only following me and you're not following Sam Singh, here's what's going to happen. You're going to hear me say this. You're going to hear me say his name a lot, and it'll be like a year from now, and he's going to have a lot more followers. He's going to be a lot harder to get access to, and you will not be able to have the sort of one-on-one conversations that you can have with him now. He'll still do it in the future. They'll just be like a waiting list, like an invisible waiting list you don't know about. So connect with him. And Andrea says incremental work, 25, 55, 90 minutes with 5-minute breaks and rehydrating and walking around. There's a beautiful app for this. It's called the Pomodoro app. I actually have it running on my computer often. What's up, Keston? And Keston is another person. Like he and I were talking about this last week. There's a Pomodoro app where you can actually set the amount of time you work for and then give yourself those incremental breaks. And then for the love of God, for the love of yourself, actually take that break. Right? This was my problem. I used to set that timer and the timer would go off and say break time. And I would be like, no, I'm going to be super productive. Oh, I'm going to make my dreams happen so much faster. Yes, I'm going to make it happen today. And I wouldn't take the break. You know how burnt out I was getting? Do you know how I was actually producing less? My output was actually less. My input was more and my output was less because I wasn't taking my strategic breaks. In fact, I have a mindset coach. I actually hire someone to help me work on my mindset. And there's an analogy she always uses with me, and I love this one. I like to share it with people. She likens taking a break like being a NASCAR, right? Being at a NASCAR where the cars are racing around at 200 miles per hour. These are high performance vehicles. These are not little slow 40 mile per hour go-karts. They are racing around the track at over 200 miles per hour. They are pushing these cars to the absolute limit, redlining them. And as they're going, these tires, you have to imagine, are spinning extremely quickly. They're heating up extremely quickly. There's a lot of pressure on these vehicles. And you'll see the person that's looping around and he's in first place and he's just going. And it's like, whoa, this dude is freaking racing. And at some point, you actually see him while the race is still going on. He pulls over and he goes into the pit stop. And you're scratching your head. Like I used to scratch my head, like, wait, why is he going into the pit shop? Like it makes no sense. Like who would be in the first place and while the race is still running, feel like, all right, time to stop. However, you start to realize he's pulling over now before damage is caused to swap out the tires, to refuel on gas, to get a little bit of hydration, get some Gatorade in his system so that he can get back on the track and continue to go. Because if he continues to just go at that pace, what's going to happen is a tire is going to blow. He's going to lose tread and traction on those tires. He's going to run out of fuel. And then everybody will truly be passing him, let alone everyone truly passing him. He won't finish the race that he started. See, so he has a longer time horizon. He thinks about this with a longer time horizon and recognizes, you know what, let me pull over now, let me refuel and get to that pit stop before I need it, so then I can continue going at a higher level. This is what we have to do for ourselves. This is the importance of breaks. So if no one's ever given you permission, because sometimes we need permission and sometimes we don't give ourselves that permission. So if you're watching this right now, I am giving you permission to take a break. Maybe you watching this video right now is a break. I'm giving you permission to not feel guilty right now. I'm giving you permission to know that it's okay that as you're watching this and there's some other bit of work that needs to be done, guess what? It's still going to be there when you get back. That work will still be there. There'll still be another problem to solve. Tomorrow we'll have plenty of more problems for you to solve. If you really like problems, there'll be plenty more tomorrow, right? You will never run out. So it's okay to pull back today. All right. You right now, when you don't take breaks, you're effectively trying to empty the ocean with a spoon, right? You can work as hard as you want, but you're not going to get anywhere, right? Maybe you want to come back with a bucket. Take a little time to think and say, where can I go get a big bucket? So I'm happy that this message is coming when you need it, because these messages hit me when I need them too. So there's going to be a final thing as well. So we want to check in with ourselves. We want to check in with the thoughts as we're having these energy audits, right? Maybe my thoughts are internally negative and they're draining me right now, right? So I have that first energy audit. Then number 2 is the second thing, which is I just got a text, guys. I'm like a squirrel sometimes. Like this filter is actually very funny because like it's how my brain like will see attention sometimes. I just got a text message on my computer. So checking in with yourself is going to be number 1, making sure that your voice and your internal dialogue is not draining you. Number 2 is going to be checking in with your environment. Just see, like, how do I feel? Like, have I been sitting in the office too long? Am I doing everything from the same spot? Am I living my life? Am I doing pleasure and work from the same place? Right? Like, are you someone that's like taking your laptop into the same bed you sleep at night? Right? Like, let's have a separation. Let's go somewhere where, hey, when I'm here, it's time to have fun. When I'm at work, it's time to work. When I'm at the beach, it's time to play. Right? Don't bring work to the beach and do not bring the beach to work. Right? And this doesn't mean, by the way, please, like, get this straight. This is not me telling you to not enjoy doing your work. You can enjoy doing your work. But when I'm talking about playing, this is, all right, I thought I was done with this topic, but I actually really need to say this. I'm going to slow it down for 1 second. Just because you enjoy doing what you do for work does not mean it's your hobby. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. See, your work, you may enjoy your work. However, your hobby you still need something outside of it. Trust me. If you really want to make it for the long run, right? I mean, there's going to be a moment in time where you're hustling. I get it. We all have to hustle. Hustle is a season. And it's a season we should all get acquainted to. But remember, it's just a season. It's not an operating system. So understand that your hobby does need to be separate. So you might be like, Marlon, I love real estate though. Marlon, I love networking for business. I know, I do. But I also need you to go find the thing that is not work involved, that you can totally turn your brain off, that the results of that totally do not matter because it is purely for pleasure. It is totally a video game. You can die in this video game and there is no real repercussion, right? Because there is nothing actually on the line. Because the thing is, with work, there's something on the line, right? There's a risk and a reward. With play, it's just play. Give yourself that. Let that life breathe back into you. So just wanted to add that there. Now, number 3 is after you've checked in with your environment, you need to check in with your network. And I'm whispering for the people on YouTube, your network. Your network. Check in with your network. And by this, I mean, who are you associating with? So this is where it's going to be the most advantageous of you to be able to recognize, how do other people make me feel? So after I walk and I spend time with certain people, I have been doing this thing where I'll get into my car when I'm heading back or when I'm stepping away from them. And I'll actually ask myself, how do I feel? How did that person make me feel energetically? Did they drain me? Did I have to use energy to exist around them? Are they feeding me energy? Are they feeding me a lot of energy and now I'm burnt out after 10 minutes? Right. I want to understand this. I want to differentiate because I need to understand a part of being in the environment is also being around the people within the environment. And I need to know, how are you affecting my energy? If we start thinking about ourselves as energy, what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for people that harmonize with the frequency I enjoy being on the most. Listen to that one more time. I'm looking to find people that harmonize with the frequency I enjoy being on the most, the frequency I prefer to be on, the frequency that serves me at the highest level, because I'm able to exist on all parts of the frequency. I'm able to exist on all parts of the spectrum. However, there are parts on that spectrum where I'm able to produce, right? I'm in flow. Things are working out the way I need them to work. I'm not having to try as hard. I'm not having to put in as much effort. And some people, for me, I'll be honest, right? Like I can do it on my own. It takes time. Some people just snap me into that place so dang quickly. It's not even funny. Like I straight up, if that person were a drug, if those people were drugs, I would be taking those drugs. This is why I traveled. This is why I moved. This is why I physically relocated and placed myself in a new place. I relocated across the country, and I was seeking these people that bring out the best frequency in me. Like there's people on here on this call. Like Sam is a prime example. When I spend time with Sam, there are parts of my mind that immediately turn on. There are parts of my being that I now have access to instantly. I don't have to work. I don't have to search for them. I don't have to meditate for them. I can just get access. Turns it on quickly. Andrea, when I sat with her, right? When we'd sit and we'd spend time and we'd get into a serious conversation, her and Joseph, like I'm able to tap in, right? I'm able to level up, right? People will level you up. People will also drain you. People will also pull you down. There are going to be people that you sit with that you will feel heavy. Like, oh my gosh, what is this? Here's a question. Why are you still entertaining those people? Why do you still give those people time and space in your life? Right? Because you're giving them precious time, space, energy, and attention. Why are they still getting that from you? I'm curious. Because if you're that much, if you're just like, hey, like I got so much to give, well, then look, you've got plenty of time, energy, and effort to give. I got work for you. I got things you can do if you just want to give it away freely like that. But I think you're better than that. I think you have an intention. I think you have goals. I think you have dreams. I hope you have goals, dreams, and intentions that you are consciously aware of and creating. So if you do, it is your responsibility to now audit, who am I spending my time with? Because although I may have love for you, I may not have time for you. Critical that you understand that. I have friends who I got love for, but I do not have time for. Try and call me multiple times. Try and call me one time, have a conversation about nothing, and try and call me again. You're going to have a really, really hard time getting through. It's going to be a really, really tough job for you to get me on the phone if you ever waste my time. Or try being someone that is a dark cloud in my life, like an energy suck, like an energy vampire. So recognize these people and don't go screaming at them and yelling at them and you're an energy vampire. No, we're not in middle school. But recognize, wow, I spent some time with, Jim. And man, by the time I was done, honestly, I felt tired. I felt burnt out. Who knows somebody like this? But Jim's such a nice guy and he wants to help and he means well. I'm sure that I'm sure I could do something to change it. Look, listen to your energy, listen to your frequency. You are not the person to change Jim. You're not. That's what your energy and that's what your frequency are telling you. You need to go and move on to become something at a higher level. See, when Jim shows up to you and you show up to Jim organically and authentically, what's going to happen? If you guys are meant to resonate, you will feel it. But when you're not, we're so inundated with so many other distractions that we stop paying attention to our instincts. I meet people based on instincts now. And I've been making much, much better relationships. I used to put myself in the room and try to meet people based off of intellectually understanding what I can get from them. You know what happened when I would go into the rooms like that? I'm just being honest. I would go into those rooms and I would know what I wanted, and it would be really hard to connect with those people and make those real, authentic relationships. I would freeze up next to them. I would be struggling. Who's ever struggled? Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever struggled to think about the next thing to say to a person. Like you're standing there and you're like, I don't know what to say next. Like, oh my gosh, this person is really cool and like I really want to impress them, and they've done so many deals and they're making a lot of money, and oh my gosh, like if I could have a relationship with this person, like my business and my life would just be so amazing. It'd be amazing. But I do not know what to say next. And holy crap, it feels like they're about to stop talking anytime soon, and they're gonna need me to say something. And yeah, I also do that complicated thing you were just saying. Look, you're not naturally harmonizing, and it's okay, right? But here's what's not okay: you're still trying. You're trying to be someone for somebody else. Be yourself. Go to rooms and go and connect with people where you are rewarded and appreciated for simply showing up authentically. Those are the people you want to be around because those are the people you're currently in harmony with. Trust me when I say at some point you will grow to a new frequency and you will then harmonize with different people, but you will never get to that place of getting onto your next level if you keep chasing after, right? Let it come to you. Let it be attracted to you. I know it's so dang hard. Like it's almost like counterintuitive because you want to be a go-getter. However, you got to attract the situations, right? So you can want and have the desire for, and you should have the desire for it, and you should aggressively be pursuing it, but aggressively pursue it in the proper way, which is attune yourself for the opportunity. This is something I actively work on every single day. And as I do this, I'm watching people come into my life. I'm watching opportunities come into my life. I'm watching that the more authentic I show up, the more people actually resonate with what I have to say. The message actually hits home better when I'm being my authentic self. And I do not have it all figured out by any means. I don't. I wish I could tell you I did. I wish I could be the dude that was standing here like, yo, guys, I got the message. Got it all figured out. Come holla at you, boy. I got you. I don't. But I have some things figured out. And the things that I have figured out, I can speak on with conviction and passion because I know it works. I know that if you can do the hard thing of admitting, not just to yourself, but to the world and to everybody authentically, this is who I am. Show up to the room as yourself. Show up to the event as yourself. Even if you fall flat on your face, even if you embarrass yourself, I promise you, you do that, the world will actually love you, right? They will love you. They will put you on a stage to see you shine. But they can only do that if you show your true self. It's the only way to get there and sustain it. And trust me, there will be a satisfaction that comes internal. Like I straight up love now knowing that I can say whatever I want because I'm speaking my authentic truth. I don't have to worry about holding on to the past, holding on to lies, holding on to just like trying to make you perceive me a certain way. I'm just going to show up as myself. And I'm going to keep getting better, keep getting better, keep getting better. So I went way over 30 minutes. We're at now 40 minutes. I'm going to wrap this one up. But before I wrap this one up, what I want to do is I actually want to, I'm going to be doing a challenge for people. It's going to be a totally free challenge, right? There is no cost to this at all, right? But I do want to say it's going to be for certain types of people, right? So the challenge is going to be called New Year's in July, right? This challenge is called the New Year's in July because at the beginning of this year, 2022, a lot of you started off strong with some beautiful New Year's resolutions. And hopefully at this point, 6 months in, you've accomplished many of them. I hope you've accomplished all of them. However, some people have lost a little bit of momentum, and it's okay. Things have changed. That's all right. What I want to do is I want to sit down with a group of you and I want us to reestablish our goals. I want us to recommit to our goals. I want us to get clarity again as if July was going to be the start of the year all over again. See, I don't want you to have to wait till January 2023 to get a fresh start. I want to start with a fresh start right now. We're coming into quarter 3. We're at the halfway point. I want you to be able to come together in a fresh start. So like I said, this is going to be a 3-day challenge. I was actually going to charge. I was going to sell this as a product. However, I was talking with a good friend of mine, Keston, and he just reminded me, bro, serve. Like just serve. Give back to people. So this one will be serving, whether it's one person, 10 people, or 100 people. I want you to come through. The way to get access to that is I have a wait list, right, where I'm just collecting the data so I can send out the link to people later on. But what you're going to do is go into my DM and simply DM me the word here on Instagram, Q3. So I'm just going to type this right here. DM me Q3. Whether it's capital or lowercase, when you do that, you're going to get an automatic text message. It's going to drop you with a Google Drive or a Google Form link. Go fill out the Google form. I'll have your information. I'll be able to contact you and shoot out more information on the event as the time gets closer. We're going to be doing that next month at the top of the month. So in the next 1 to 2 weeks, the date I have set for it actually is January 12th to the 14th. We're going to be doing a 3-day challenge. You're going to be hanging out with me for 3 days, 1 hour each day. And we're going to be getting you primed. The goal is that when you come to that challenge, if you actually show up, if you participate and you play full out, by the time you leave that challenge, you will have full clarity on what you need to do with the remaining 6 months, right? You will have clarity. You will have a direction that you're pointed in. You will know what you're doing and why you're doing it. So if you're interested in doing that with me, go and hit my DMs. Send me Q3, like DM me that. It is, like I said, it's free, right? I was going to charge for this. I was thinking I was actually going to charge probably about $1,000 per person to come do this. So you guys are lucky Keston talked to me today because that is the only reason it's free. In fact, I may even renege on that and change it. But for right now, whoever messages me today, whoever DMs me Q3 will get access to this for free as of today. If I change it, don't be upset. Don't come to me tomorrow or 2 days from now because you watched this as a replay and say hey, bro, you said, look, it's going to be time stamped. The people that come in today are getting in. And if I change the price and start to charge and I choose to charge, which I can, it's my life, that may happen. But the people that get in today, you're locked in. So again, DM me the word Q3. It goes like this. That way there's no typos or spelling mistakes. Q3. All right. On that note, I appreciate you all. Love you all. I might be back on live later tonight with Daryl, but I will catch you guys later. Make sure if you aren't already, follow, subscribe if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook. I appreciate you. And if you're here on Instagram, leave a comment below. I appreciate you big time, and I'll catch you later. All right. And YouTube, Facebook, freaking fun having you guys again. I appreciate it. We had Daryl inside here taking a break. Let's go.